Dream just dropped his new apology. I thought, you know what? Let's go check it out. So let's go see this video. An hour and 20 minutes. Jokes aside, we're actually going to be kind of looking at some of the stuff he talks about in the video, talking about my opinion and kind of the overall stuff, and rate his response/apology. And thank God for YouTube or for Dream or for whoever did this, but they put this thing, like the video, into sections for each little part. Thank you, Dream. Thank God. So some of this is just yapping. Like at the start, he kind of talks about how the one photo that leaked was him. The fat photo they said was actually his brother, but no one really cares about that. And the second thing he goes into is the Minecraft cheating, and he says how he did cheat, but he didn't mean to. He said he had a mod on or something, and he didn't know that it was on when he went to do the speed run, and then he ended up cheating on accident. Now, that was definitely really old, but it was good to, I guess, kind of add it in and, put a little bit more credibility. He really knew what he was doing with this video, and he put more credibility right at the start, saying, owning up to it, right? Which is a good thing, right? It's a good thing to be a man, just own up to it, be like, yeah, I cheated. I didn't really know that I was cheating, but I did cheat, and, he's not defending and trying to argue or anything. He's just owning up to it, which is a good start. He really knows what he's doing.
He's my childhood friend. I trusted him, and he wasn't a risk. The thread first came out saying that Manatreat abused his girlfriend. I responded emotionally, calling people gullible, because I didn't believe that someone I had known for so long and grew up with could do anything like that. And at the time, although no one knew, he lived with me in Sapnap, so it seemed crazy that he could somehow hide it from us. I jumped to the gun and reacted emotionally. Only later did I properly look into everything, and I apologized.
So I actually had no clue about this controversy and that this was one of the controversies, but this is a good way to respond, especially if you're in his shoes. Like, what do you do? It's really hard when you find out, your friend does something like this, and you really don't want to believe it. You want to believe your friend. You want to make sure you're not being associated with someone like this. You want to make sure your friends are doing good and aren't, breaking the law and aren't, being really bad people. So I can understand this, especially if you're in his shoes. What are you gonna do, when that happens to you, right? It's not easy to be in that situation. As much as we want to say and we want to armchair quarterback and say whatever we want, like, it's not as easy as being in the actual situation. The next thing he goes on to is like the thirst traps or whatever, how he basically said he's just posting whatever on Snapchat, because to get paid from Snapchat, you have to continuously post. So he just continuously posts random videos or pictures of him, which are cringy, but he's like, he doesn't care, which, all power to him, right? Get your bag, right? So he's just posting cringy stuff to get money and, whatever from Snapchat. So, it is what it is, right? It can, like, I can see the weirdness of it, especially with his fans, in promoting, like, how he doesn't I guess necessarily stop the parasocialness, and then posting stuff like this kind of adds to the weirdness of it. So I understand that, but from his perspective, he's not really trying to do that, and it's kind of a weird balance, because there's the one side where he doesn't necessarily say no to the parasocialness of his fans, but then on the other side he's not necessarily saying yes. So then these posts are the weird in between, where he's not doing anything wrong, but with the fan base that he has, it kind of makes it a bit weird. He actually goes into all of the allegations in this video, and he details them very well and shows his receipts. He shows his DMs. Like, the first girl said that she had face revealed him, and that he was talking to her when she was a minor and all that. And then he shows the DMs where he just said like 2 words or like 2 texts or whatever, and how he debunks that, and then he goes on to the other allegations and debunks a bunch of those, and it was really well thought out, and he really showed that, this really wasn't him, that people are just trying to get clout or whatever, and, these aren't really true, whether these people do want clout or whether these people want to expose him, whatever, right? He really goes into detail and shows, what's wrong and what happened and what actually happened within all these, I guess, allegations and stuff. And he really goes into detail and proves, in my opinion, he proves them wrong. Like, he proves them wrong to the T. And I think he shows all of them that, nothing was wrong. He didn't do anything, and he wasn't really trying to engage with all this stuff. And I think that that was really well that he did with this video, and he proved those pretty well. Actually also goes into the Gumball thing, how he was beefing or whatever with Nicholas Cantu, the actor for Gumball, and he talks about that, and he actually gets the Uber driver talking about it too, which was a very smart move, getting the Uber driver, a person who's neither on his side or Nicholas Cantu's side. He was right in the middle. He was talking good about Dream, never said anything, and so apparently the video from the back wasn't from Dream, it was from someone else. They both ended up going to the same party, and then Nicholas Cantu didn't like him or something like that, or just was not a big fan of Dream, or I guess, or something like that. So he ended up assaulting him or punching him or something, and then Nick Dream just took it and just went whatever, right? And they ended up in the same Uber, and then apparently Nicholas Cantu ended up apologizing to him, and yeah, so that was funny. That was a really funny part of the whole thing, and he actually did talk about that. Dream also talks about the moaning thing and how that was fake and completely false, and that none of it was true, but that also leads into another thing which also ties into what I just talked about. I know this is a bit confusing if you have a little pea brain like me, but this all just ties into memes, because with the Gumball thing as well, and then the moaning thing as well, memes were kind of the main focus of all of this, and, memes are funny, but memes are actually, propaganda. Like, if you see a meme enough, you can start to believe it. And, people take so many things out of context, make a meme about it, and then just start believing that meme because it's a meme, right? And memes go so quickly, they get so fast, they go everywhere, and it's, it's something to laugh at. So it's something that people are easily accessible to and easily can just say, oh yeah, that might be true, I guess I'll go with it, it's funny, so I'll go with it. And that's something that really propagated or really went with Dream. Like, everything with Dream was just, there's so many memes that came out of him that just, on set, a whole bunch of allegations and a whole bunch of stuff. Memes are good, but at the same time, memes can just directly start hate for no reason, directly start allegations and so many things without reasoning. And that's, some of the scary parts about memes, especially, today, right? You can hear one thing about someone, like, someone jokes around about, say, oh, I whatever, did this, and then people will be like, oh my gosh, he did that. And they'll start making memes, and those memes go crazy, and then everyone starts believing them because the memes are everywhere. If you see 2, 3, 4, plus accounts start posting memes about something, you're just to go, oh my gosh, I'm stuttering like crazy. You're gonna start to think in your head, maybe this is true. Maybe I might believe this.
As for my conclusion on this video, I have a couple things to say. First of all, I just want to recognize that I'm probably in this position because of myself. People that made these claims undoubtedly had unhealthy parasocial relationships with me, and that's why it's gotten to this point. I want to and will do anything I can to denounce this. My view on fans has shifted slowly over time, jumping massively when I face revealed and actually got to meet fans in person, which made things much more real and massively changed my perspective. I think it's incredibly unhealthy to be obsessive with someone, and I also think that it's clear to anyone that's stepping back and looking at these situations that people obsessively hate me and are making up lies about me, which is also because of parasocialness. Parasocial love turned to parasocial hate. And I have no doubt that the anonymous people making these fake allegations were once big fans of mine. I grew up being a massive fan of football, and I had jerseys of my favorite players and was very passionate, so I've always related to stands in that way, but my passion never turned to obsession, and I never truly realized how serious it can get, even sometimes when people were literally telling me. I think that part of why I'm in the position that I'm in right now is because I started pulling away from my fans after my face reveal. Meeting fans in person made things much more real, and I wasn't so chronically online anymore because I actually had real life and things to do. I think that the fact that I'm a very relaxed person overall that has relaxed boundaries has encouraged that type of behavior too, so I'm just going to re-clarify some of my boundaries. One, I don't support any sexually explicit art of me or my friends. It never bothered me personally that much because I don't really care about anything, but it is just weird, especially if you're a minor and drawing anything like that. That's gross. I don't support anything inappropriate for minors at all. Art, TikToks, comments, anything. It's gross. Two, serious shipping is bad. I think that prying into people's private relationships, being deeply speculative or anything like that is terrible. I don't mind jokes. I don't mind doing it for fun, but anything serious really crosses.
I think this is a part that's getting massively overlooked as the whole thing. Like, he could talk about as many allegations and as many things as he wants, but this is kind of like the main things, or one of the most serious things, I guess, with his fans and stuff, is the parasocialness and a lot of that stuff, which he just talks about right at the end, which I think severely got overlooked, and not as many people actually skip to the end to try and see it and stuff, which is, a big part of the reason people were getting after him for this stuff, especially with Penguins and stuff, or Moist Critical, whatever you want to call him, Charlie. And, that was a huge thing that I think he needed to respond to, and he did respond to, and he responded to it well enough. Some of it, he's like, the NSFW doesn't bother me. I think it should bother you, but, that's just me. But he still denounces it. He's like, don't do this, that's kind of weird. He's like, and I'm glad that his views have changed and that he doesn't want, the stands as fans anymore, which is a good part. of it. Whether this was a calculated response, whether this was a good or bad response, I think either way, people are just gonna hate Dream and still believe it and still post memes and still post things about it. And I'm not saying this was like the best response ever. I think this was a solid response. It definitely wasn't very calculated, and he really knew what he was doing with all this. But either way, he still made a decent enough response and talked about all of this stuff. You know, whether or not it felt genuine, he did talk about it, he did get to it, he talked about everything, responded to everything, which was the main part. And I think that was good enough, at least for me. Like, I think it was good enough to feel safe with him and for him to feel better on the YouTube space and stuff. Whether or not this is going to do anything, I think he's still going to have haters. People will just hate you for no matter what. No matter if you cleared your name, no matter if you proved everything false, people will still believe in whatever they want to believe, and people will still hate you. But anyways, that's kind of been me talking about Dream. This has been a longer video than usual. I mean, 10 minutes, but, whatever. See you guys later in the next one. Peace.
I got diamonds on my chain. Yo, bitch giving me some brain. I feel bad, see replay. Juice for all girls all the same. Hearts on fire, no propane. All my shooters got